All right. Hopefully that's working. Let's see. Yeah. Hello and welcome. Well, yeah, this is not Kerbal Space Program 2. This is Kerbal Space Program 1. For reasons. I'll probably get into that unavoidably. Yeah, Kerbal Space Program 2 is out. We are not going to be playing that. We're going to be playing Kerbal Space Program, the original version. Well, with some, what is it? The versions there, yeah. And I think there might be some mods involved. But yeah, and the DLC, Breaking Ground, all that. Forget what the other ones are off the top of my head. Yeah. Anyway, let me see. Make sure that's working. Yeah. Good. Resume a save. I think I'm going to start a fresh science playthrough. I don't know if I'll, I have some stuff I want to do in it. I was certainly hoping to be doing it in Kerbal Space Program 2, but just didn't seem that viable at the present state of the game. In part, let me go back. Well, this is the original, right? So the new one has some pretty high demands on the graphics cards, etc. And that I bought it. I installed it, Kerbal Space Program 2, but ultimately I refunded it. And I personally would not recommend it, and I don't mean to be unkind. I know they put a lot of hard work into it, and all of that. And perhaps maybe I didn't give it enough time, but it just it won't do what Kerbal Space Program will do. Not yet. I know they have a game plan, but it's in that current state. My opinion. Sorry about that. I'm on Fantastic, and I anticipate there'll be some lags and we'll drop some frames. I anticipate that. But very much so like the last streams that I did with this. It's not that bad. It looks pretty good. Yeah, so there's that. And I know, so the new version has a really good backbone. You can say that about it. And it's going to become something great, we hope. But currently, it feels like it's a demo. That's it. It does. It feels like a free demo, but it's not free. and I understand. You need some money to get it going. That's great. Yeah, it's a single player sandbox. That's it. It doesn't have a lot of the standard parts that you have in this one anyway. Taking too much time with all that. Just I have the fantastic graphics on this setting with the new version of Kerbal Space Program 2, that is. I can barely run it on the lowest settings, and it just doesn't look that great there. It's grainy. drops frames by the handful and slow, and as far as trying to stream it or what have you. Right, even playing it without streaming it is, I have to have it on the lowest settings, and it just, yeah, and that there's not that much to it. It's kind of like, no Kerbal Sky kind of thing. And it's better than that. They have a better game plan for the future, but I'm going to wait for it. It's not, I love to support them, but I hope it lasts long enough for them to do what they want to do, and that I better play Kerbal Space Program and get some streams and recordings of it, because they might do like what Project Cars did. It had Project Cars 3 that was not as good as Project Cars 2, but since they couldn't get people to buy that product, they stopped supporting Project Cars 2 and things like that, right? Like, Kerbal Space Program will go off the map eventually, because they're going to have people playing their new one. I hope it improves quickly, like over the next year, maybe, not 5 or 10 years, because that it's not going to happen. Not for the money that's being laid down today for it. It doesn't seem like it. I wish them the best. How do I get out of that? Cancel. So let me not rant on that. Let's just have some fun, some cool things about that. But yeah, I don't know. I may not be able to not rant about it. It was a huge disappointment. I'm sorry. I know they spent a lot of time on it, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But yep, I was disappointed. I was excited about it for a long time. Wait till it becomes something to be excited about is where I'm at. Not that matters. What up? Do some science, but you know what? I don't want some normal thing. But, there's some tailoring you got to do, or I feel anyway, that there's only so many science messages. And there is a good mod that you can get that, gives you some pretty clever new science messages. I might even have that in there, but still, it's, again, and you can only do like the science thing 1 or 2 times, and it's just not worth anything anymore. And you got to go find something new to do. Hop in a rover, drive around, take some samples, things like that, I may do a little of, but I don't want that to be the mainstay, just so I can get on to the next. So I kind of want to crank this quite a bit, almost to a ridiculous amount. 420 sounds good. Nice recreational number. So, right, it'll help get the parts we need a little faster to let me keep the game going faster. It's another thing. This game can go forever. You think games of Monopoly or Risk or something like that? Jokingly, right? Yeah, this could take a long time, especially if you play it in real time, where we certainly can and will accelerate the clock as we fly between the moons and planets and whatnot. Yeah. Takes a lot of time. Anyway, we do that. Auto hire? Not sure what that is. Oh, right. Indestructible facilities. Yeah, I gotta get closer there. Yeah, that's another. It's going to take me a while to focus in on these small UIs, which I think I can change a little bit, but I already have them kind of large. um, hopefully, if not, we'll play with that as well. Be cool. We're going to launch some rockets, and that's another thing, is that I mostly do rockets rather than things with wings. I'm, not opposed to them. I very much enjoy watching people do that. Just not something that I've gotten into and really taken much advantage of. In space, there's nothing for a wing to do, so there you go. But yeah, I know there's a Duna, or there's some atmospheres, Mimbus, that you can fly in. Sort of. But yeah, seen it done. What's this? Crew respawning. Yeah, we'll go ahead and have that. Doesn't have to be instantaneous, but let them think about what they've done. Their bad life choices to put me in charge. Yeah, other launch sites is good, which I think now you can even launch in orbit. That's kind of a cool thing. We might have to earn that. I don't know, or it may not be available to us in science mode. Haven't played it in a long time like that. Just been playing around in the sandbox. Which, yeah, right? Kerbal Space Program 2, it's just all sandbox. And, well, that's where Kerbal Space Program started. It was all sandbox. If I remember right. I don't know. I don't think I didn't get it when it first came out. Because there was another game called Orbiter, I believe, that had shuttles that you would fly into orbit. So that you didn't build them or anything like that, but you could fly them into orbit and to the moon. And it was really the Earth and the moon. And I think Kerbal Space Program was sort of there at the same time, and it came to my attention, and I got on board shortly thereafter. I've bought a few versions of it, so they've gotten plenty of my cash so far, and they're going to get more eventually, but it just wasn't today. I did refund. I'll wait till they get something going. It's really the bottom line. Yeah, from everything I've seen so far, unless something comes out in the next week for it, major, you're better off putting your money in Kerbal Space Program. Buy the DLC for it, something like that. If you already have it, then continue to play it, because just nothing to do in the other one. Or I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I didn't give it enough time, but that's all right. I can let it simmer. You know, it's just it is, yeah, something that'll sit on the shelf. And unfortunately, I don't know if they, damn, they have the money to just sit around on the shelf to get things done that they want to. Anyway, yeah, so we cranked that up. So that'll help things go along. Get his parts quicker. So we got to earn science points to get technology, build on our technology tree to get better parts to go faster, further, etc. That's about enough. What was there? There was one. I don't know. Oh, going into the negative values? Oh, we don't need that. Um, this is what I want, though. That they should. I kind of like that they have to gain experience, but there is a little bit of a thing with that. Well, leveling up immediately sounds good to me. I mean, once you've learned that thing, put it into practice. If if you've achieved it, there you go. But there is something about that, about experience. It's not, or maybe they fixed it, but I think the last time I played, is each astronaut, pilot, or engineer, or what have you, had to, our scientist, had to do a thing originally in order to gain an experience. Like if Jeb's been in orbit, then when Valentina goes to orbit, it doesn't give her experience. She has to go to a high orbit or something like that. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. But if that's the case, then, we'll deal with it. I have to figure out new things for them to do, to up in experience, I guess. Or, I don't know if I can change this during gameplay, or after I establish a game. I don't know. We'll find out, maybe. The limits here, Sure. I don't. I think they give us those things. Tolerance 1. That's not good. We'll let that. I don't think I generally give them a hard time, but I don't want to accidentally get them passed out. All right. I mean, well, yeah, they better be tough. I mean, it's going to be a rough ride. Think so. I think we're okay with. This one's a little iffy, and I think I'll leave it off because it requires putting a lot of satellites in orbits, that, again, that, just more or less space junk out there, that's taking up processing power, that we can just sort of pretend that infrastructure exists. Yep. Keep things going, because, right, it could take a long time, and that you got to set up a satellite network, communication network, before you really can start sending your Kerbals places. Well, if the Kerbals are on board, they'll have control, but other things, it becomes an issue. It can. The plasma blackouts, that can become an issue. It's a real thing. We're good. I'll accept that. Something that I noticed that was missing or wasn't at the forefront is that in version 2, with the listed astronauts, they don't give them designations like engineer, pilot, or scientist. Maybe it's in the subtext when you hover over the. I didn't notice it at all for any of them. Just had their names, not their designation. And in fact, when I went, I think they put Bill or Bob in the pilot seat, when I flew a couple of them. Didn't matter anymore. Like, they're just all astronauts. Can do anything, or in the sandbox, it doesn't matter, really, one way or another, anyway. I don't know. Also, I didn't see any re-entry effects. They're spectacular in this version. The air effects going out of the atmosphere, heating effects, things like that. All that seemed to be missing. Again, could have been because my graphics settings had to be set so low for it to even run on my machine. That maybe it's just stuff that if you had the higher settings on, you'd see all that. I could believe that. So it's not that they left it out. It's just my machine can't do it. Yep. But yeah, and I you know, can imagine that happens for a lot of people, a lot. Or that they're just looking at it going, yeah, my machine doesn't meet those minimum requirements. So it's not just the cost of the game, it's the cost of you have to upgrade a whole new computer. And if you weren't planning on that, it's not something you're going to do for this game. I would not recommend it. It is not worth that. Not worth getting a new machine for. Absolutely not. 100% not. No. What did I overwrite? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Silly me. How's that volume? That sounds pretty loud. Hopefully that's okay. Yeah. Good. No, thanks. I've got it. Yep. Welcome to the Space Center. Thank you. Arrow keys. Left, right, click. Yep, we can look around. Alright, there are cool things about the new edition. The area is much more lush with greenery, some lakes, several launch pads. Just doesn't have these extended mountains at all. In fact, the one that I call That-A-Way Mountain, that has the slope that gets you to orbit, it's non-existent there. Or it's just a little tiny hump that maybe it's because it's bigger. Maybe Kerbal is bigger in the new one. It's got a larger radius. So those distance mountains are a little harder to see as you launch. Launch speeds were quicker for the stock. Anyway, what do we got going on? All kinds of good stuff. Research and development. See, this is what we're after. We're going to start very primitive, and we got to go get science points. We got to go out, do some science, observe some stuff, see how things work. And as we do that, our technology will improve, and we'll get bigger and better things as we go along. Survivability, parachutes, good thing. Better rockets, wings for flying things, flight controls, electric stuff, or more science, collecting devices. Yeah, all of that stuff. And yep, there are mods. Again, I think I'm pretty vanilla. I should have checked that. There are mods to get that it have extensions on these to go interstellar, things like that. Don't believe I have those on. So yeah, that's what we need to do. Yep. Need to go collect some science, build a rocket, do something, go take a sample, have a report. Need 5 science for the basic rocketry. You click on it, you find here, right? New kind of liquid fueled engine that we'll get. Has some specs on it. You can look at. What else? And a booster, a solid state, or solid fuel rocket, and yep, more liquid fuel tanks for the liquid fuel rocket. Yeah, so it helps us do better. And then in the engineering category, we pick up things like a manual. That's a good thing to have. A wrench, a decoupler, a thermometer. So you can do more science. Taking the temperature. Science done. and an antenna for transmitting science, so we don't have to wait till we come back. We can go somewhere, take the temperature, send that data back home, then go a little bit further, maybe take another temperature, send that data back home, earn science point that way. Another antenna. So a couple different styles of antenna. What's different about them? I think maybe it's the way they look. Maybe their weight is a little different. Yeah, this one's a little heavier than that one. Yep. But anyway, so there's that. And then, right, stability when we get some aerodynamics going, coupling, bigger rockets as we move along, ones that swivel, or they're just more power. More science stuff, a barometer. Well, there's a lot of the game that I really haven't even done yet. That I've used mods that have done that stuff in the past, but there's new attachment stuff that's just directly built into the game, as well as new science equipment. You can go set up on the moon and satellite gear for scanning. A weather analyzer. Go drop that on another planet, huh? I guess we go set one outside and get some science from it, huh? Got a long way to go to get that. Do we? Where was that? Lost where I was at. Is it this one? Yeah, that one. It's a lot of science points we got to gather up to get that far, let alone here. Another thing is the capsules, right? Well, there's a nice proper moon lander top. Classic. Yeah. Capsules that'll hold more people. So there's that, right? That's what we're working on. How do we do it? Let's go back out here. So that's our research and development. There's our tracking station. Take a quick look in there. Here's our tracking facility. Right? We can take a quick look at our Kerbal system, right? There's the planet Kerbal. Has two moons. One is the moon. Sure you know that. It's all right. I'm saying it again. And then there's Mimas. It's a little further out. The moon is relatively easy to get to. Not so easy to land on. Mimas is a little more difficult to get to. It's further away. Easier to land on. It's much smaller. Less gravity affecting you. And then there's our star. If we zoom out, begin to see, well, this is the orbit of our planet Kerbin around our star. There are some inner planets and some outer planets, and there's some unknown objects, comets, asteroids, and the like. Many of those to visit that are closer than other planets, but much further away than the moons. Inner planet Eve, inner planet Moho, and then Duris, I believe. No, Duna, out there. That's beyond our orbit on the outside. See if I can. And which one was that? Duna, and then Duris, and Jewel, and this one out here, Elu. And that's the system. So, right? We need to collect some science to get better rockets so we can get all the way out to there, right? And that we can visit all of these. And actually, yeah, look how it comes in and crosses the orbit of Jewel. So really, if we can get to Jewel, we can get to every planet in our solar system. We just have to wait for Helu to come within our range. But if we can get a rocket that can go out there, should be able to get one that'll go out there. I don't believe there's anything else out there, but as we travel out there, there's probably a lot of unknown objects that may appear that we could visit. Asteroids, comets way out there in the Oort clouds. I don't know. We'll see. Yep, already something out there beyond Duna. Yeah. A lot of fun. So let's get at it. Let's get some rockets in the air. Well, how do we do that? Well, this is our tracking station. Here in that column will be flights that we'll have going. And again, if you get too many flights going, things start to lag and get slow. And if you get too much space junk out there, you get the same problems. Well, in here, it's a place where we can terminate flights, things like that. Get rid of space debris that's just floating around out there after we finish our missions. We'll probably want to do that. If we were hardcore, be like, you have to have cleanup missions of stuff that you have out here in orbit to go up and then knock it down out of orbit. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's get started. So we'll get out of this building, our tracking station. We could have many different types of flights going that'll track satellites, ships, what have you, probes, planes, bases. Yep, we can have bases. Boom. So let's do all that. Takes a second to load. Sure, I'm taxing my machine. I mean, I have the graphic settings maxed. Yeah, we dropped 194 frames so far. We'll drop some. We will. But it does play. And, I could put it down to what is it, the beautiful setting? We could get by with beautiful. Probably lose less frames. That's fantastic. All right, here's our vehicle assembly. We could also go in here and assemble space planes. That's where they do that. You can go here and hire new astronauts if we wanted to. Take a look. These are the applicants. This is our current regular crew. Yeah, how much courage, how much stupidity they have. Didn't realize Bob had such a, I'm dumb. Yep. Yeah, that was missing on the other one. It wasn't telling you when you hovered over them whether they were a scientist, a engineer, or a pilot. Yep. We'll be back after we go through these. Yeah. Let's go in there. Vehicle assembly. Which there are some ready-made rockets that you can use. Got it. Here's where we assemble things. Can move around. Now this, can't do anything yet till we get something going. There are none of these in the second version so far. Maybe planning it, sure. Not there now. Personally, I prefer the pointy rockets. So that didn't bother me. They did have some cool new stuff. There are some cool new capsules. The future looks promising for it. That's the future. I'll wait for it. It'll come. Maybe. We will see. So this is our only choice for capsules. Well, we could use that one, but it's what it is. It holds one astronaut. Jebediah usually hops in. Yeah. It's like, I'm first. Yeah. Can kick him out. Put Val in there. Get some experience that way. Change it up. Just default. Kicks the first one in there. Jeb was first. He came before the chicken. Yep. See, we don't have much yet. We got to go do science, and all these parts will get filled in. In sandbox mode, everything's there. Yep. So in fact, if we were to go to this, there are some stock options. Oh, wait. I've got a bunch of stuff that I can use from other things, but as long as you have those parts available, and that's the thing. Where is the... Are these default ones? I thought there was one that said stock. Like it's just what you have in stock. Name ones I've... You can go to... Right. It's not the ones I wanted. I guess not. Oh, maybe that's only if you're in... right, so I can borrow ones from other places, but you have to have those parts in your inventory, right? Yeah. So, let's see here. Not much to choose from. So, all we have is a booster. Just click on that. Put that down there. We have any... Well, we're not going to go high enough for... Is that it? That's all we have? Oh, yep, there's that. What can we do with that? Oh, yeah. That's it, huh? Winglets? Yeah. And the symmetry... Oh, wrong button. 3 of them ought to be enough. Sure. No thermal protection, no electric power to take with us other than, is there any in the unit itself? Well, it comes with a parachute, and that's a big improvement. I think that's part of the DLC, maybe. Kerbal attachment system, I think, and a jetpack. Also, there's a slot that we could put some inventory in there. Can be used some other time for something. Attachments. Can name it. Change the color of it. What else? The authority wheel, reaction wheel. So yeah, it doesn't have any... Yep, it does. So yeah, electric charge, there it is. It has 50 electric charges. Because yeah, the wheel, the reaction wheel should use up electric charge. Monopropellant, not sure what it needs that for. Are those exhaust ports on it? Yeah, how do you like that? Because if those features exist in 2, they don't work the same way. You can't scroll up and down and in and out like that. Anyway, so yeah, has electric power and a little bit of monopropellant. If we had some RCS engines, unless, are those supposed to be ports? Maybe not. What else do we have? Science. We have something. Here we have goo. Mystery goo. Right. Yeah, so the unit was something one of our engineers came up with while dumpster diving. While researching alternative applications for existing technologies, it's a sealed container which appears to be filled with a strange-looking substance. We couldn't reach in or break the canister open, but watching how the goo behaves when subject to different situations could be very educational. Well, yeah, that's science, my friend. Let's look at it, see what happens. Write it down. Don't forget that part. Write it down. And pretty much only need one, but you know, with rockets, symmetry is, you know, yeah, very important in many situations. So could take some extra ones if we needed it. Utility. There's an important part of our journey right here. The parachute for a capsule. You know, it's good for us to have one when we bail out, but let's hope we don't have to bail out. EVA items, nothing. Attachment system, nothing. Lights, got nothing. Nothing. What else is over there? Can't see. Move that. That's it. That's the bottom of our list. That's it. That's all we can do. Got to go do some science with this so we can get more stuff to build a better rocket, because this is not going much of anywhere. Watch. Let's go see it. See it in action. Let's get out to the launch pad. See the action. Yep, I've dropped one whole frame since the last time I looked. Not much going on in the vehicle assembly to tax the system. Yeah, it just sits out here like this. Also, this, right? Well, in the new one, you can actually see in the window that there's a Kerbal in there. And that is kind of cool, that the Kerbal is actually inside the craft. In yeah, part 2. But if you can get in it, I couldn't find the button to get into it. And that was missing from my experience, is that you can't climb into the capsule. Sure, it's going to be, you know, somewhere down the line that they'll do that. But I can do it here already. So why do I want to go to a game that you can't do it? That's not the button you want to push, smartass. Pardon my French. Maybe I just hadn't figured it out yet. The launches are more spectacular for part 2. That's a definite. Gotta give them kudos there. Now this radio chatter that you're hearing, hopefully you hear it, that's one of the mods, and I'm like, that is so cool. It's like, I can't live without it now. They do have a cool countdown system for the new one. But such is the way. Did I check my staging? I can't see my staging. Move this over here. How you doing? I only got a motor and a parachute. That's all you can do, right? Well, since we're in this for the science, where are you at? If we do this, get a crew report, that's worth some science. Crew report from the launch pad. It records the crew's assessment of the situation. You betcha. And we'll keep it, because if we did have an antenna, I forgot to put it on. So there you go. We've done that. What else can we do? I think that's it for now. Don't want to get out. But that's been done now, right? The next Kerbal that we launch can't. It's like, yeah, we've been there, heard that. It's not worth anything. or it might just be worth 1 science. So it's nice to hear that you're doing okay too. And then after that, it'll be 0 science. You'll have to go somewhere else and make a report. So let's go somewhere. Or up, anyway. Since there's no throttle settings on this, I forget. Was I able to adjust that? I don't think you can adjust throttle on the boosters, on the first little flea boosters that we're using. Spacebar will launch us. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. We're up. Now, here shortly, we should be able to make another report. It'd be a little bit different. Oh, I think that was it. That's all of it. That's it. So if we get on here, can we get another report? Oh no, because we can only take one at a time. That's right. But we can get out here and observe the mystery goo. Mystery goo observed while flying at Kerbal. So good. The goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies. Imagine that. Good. We'll keep that information. Be worth some science someday. I suppose, actually, yeah, we moved a little bit. We might, I don't know, probably not. We're probably just going to land right back down on the pad. If we land over on the side or something, if the wind blows us around. Might be able to get another report from somewhere else. Or hop out, get a soil sample. Actually, I might have been able to reach the ground from standing on there. Yeah, I probably should have pulled the chute already. Usually below 5,000 feet, but I also want to be below like 240. Yeah, it was in the yellow. I was noticing we were picking up some speed there. I think we're doing all right. Coming down. It'll fluff out at 500 feet ish, please. Yay. We get jerked around. Yep. Get some experience. Yep, and I could have hastened that, I guess, right? The time. How do I do that? Was it this one? Yeah. Boop. That was a little risky. If you have accelerated time when you hit the ground, it can end poorly. Well, I wonder, since I didn't look at this goo on the launch pad, and I look at it here, is that the same thing as looking at the launch pad? It's worth some science, so that's good. Oh no, from the crawlway. So hopefully that'll be different next time we're out on the launch pad. Remember to look at some goo. We did observe that goo. And we got 12.6 science for it. Transmit, wait a minute. Oh, I think we'll just keep it for now. We're home. We'd get less for it, but I think the capsule itself has some antenna action, maybe? It has to, right? I don't know. It's maybe it was one of those things is like, oh, do you want to transmit it? And then you go, well, yeah, let's transmit it. And then be like, oh, well, if you had an antenna, you could have transmitted it, but you couldn't. But we were going to give you the option anyway that we knew you didn't have an antenna, just so you could click on it, and then we could tell you that, no, you can't do that. You don't have an antenna. I could be making that up. Yeah, because if that was a thing, right? The crew report? Where was it? Oh, right. No, we don't want to... Can we look at the crew report? No. EVA. What you got? What can you do? Can we do that? Yeah, from the crawlway. Collected a sample of the surface. That's it. That's what we've done. Sure. I can't transmit that. You only get 25% of the value. Otherwise, we're 37.8. Yeah, we'll just keep that. What else can we do? EVA report. That's different than a crew report. Don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to go here. Was it? No, it really wasn't. Other than, you know, we wanted to see if it fits you. Does it fit? Good. We'll keep that. Oh, look, you get the same amount for transmitting that one. Should we see what happens? See, we don't have a device to do that. Well then, right, let's just keep it. Did it get kept? It got kept. Is that what that... I think that's what that said. Didn't say successfully transmitted, did it? Either way, we got all the signs for that. What else can we do? I could hop off and plant a flag. I don't think we need to go to that extent. I already have that boost enough. We'll climb back on board and finish this mission. Success. Recover vehicle. Is that right? Think about it. Yep, it's thinking about it. Birds are chirping. It's good. Hey, we didn't drop one frame in that whole launch, so yay for me, or what have you. 117 science out of that for all them little hey, let's look at that. It looks like goo. Science, things learned. 1 XP gained. That's good too. Ready for the next assignment. Done. What else? Parts? Do we get any parts back? Next. Done. Whatever. We got the whole ship back, I think, or whatever. Not important. Doesn't cost us anything. We're not playing that mode, right? Because you can play another mode where the mission control comes into play. You get contracts, government contracts, or whatever, private contracts. Good. Is that different? Administrative building. That one's closed. In science mode. Okay. Okay, right, it goes, I think, sorry to yell at you there, but right, this goes along with the reputation of the facility, which is important when fulfilling contracts. It's all about the discovery with science. Let's go look at things. Let's go faster. Let's go higher. How'd that work? What'd you feel about that? Things like that. Good. Let's do another one. So, right, we can't just do the same thing. We have to go to our research and development and spend our science points so we have better stuff. And it's not like we have a lot of choices, so we just need to get on it. We will have that. And we need that to move forward. Got to have a manual to get to the next step. Survivability and some more. We take a barometer and then we can start taking pressure readings everywhere we go, in addition to looking at the goo. So that's more science, which gets us more stuff, so we want that. It's worth our time. Up here, better rocket and a bigger fuel tank. What did we get already? We already got a better rocket. Liquid fuel now, right? You can control the thrust, is what that does. And I don't think this has gimbaling. It does swivel. It says swivel right on it. So yeah, it steers and you can control the amount of thrust. And we get a bigger booster than what we had previously. So those are good. You can stack those. How much we got? 92 points. Be a little careful. It's only 20 for that. Oh, what do we have here? Stability. I like stability. Let's get some of that rolling. Struts. That's important. And a cardboard box. That's vital. Not really. I've never used it, and I'm not sure, other than just to say that you've carried a cardboard box. We could say there's a message in it. It's got to get somewhere. And have a little adventure. Storage locker, things like that. These can be good containers in which we could put our science payloads into, things like that. Crew cabin. But that's more for planes. However, I think probably these are too, actually. Coupling devices. Do we have enough for that? Just barely. That might be a real smart thing to do, though. Yeah, new capsule will carry 2 Kerbals. And an inline reaction wheel. It's 45. We can't get both of those. Well, we can easily go get some more science. Or maybe not easily, but eventually we need to get a lot of this stuff anyway. It'll start to get to where, like, we might not be able to do a mission because we need the thing over here to be able to get 2 Kerbals. But actually, if we needed 2 Kerbals right now, we could satisfy that. We're alright. More airplane stuff, which, you know, it's good to have. We'll need it to get onto other pieces. Yeah, like that. Parachutes. Oh, we can come in the other way, huh? I don't know. We'll see. I don't build a lot of airplanes. Ooh. $45. So what do we have plenty to build something right now without spending more. I think those motors have a little more kick to them than the ones we just bought or just learned about. Yeah, they do. Now, right, that's for putting in orbit on a satellite to start making scans for resources and things and biome maps, right? What the terrain's like, etc., and what have you. Okay, we'll do something, man. All right. Okay. All right. Well, what's our next mission? Well, we need to break through the atmosphere and get into outer space. Maybe not orbit, but get into outer space. And I think we can currently do that with what we have. So let's do that. Let me just spin something here. That and this, maybe. I don't know what that's going to do for us. What's this? Science Junior. I don't know if we're ready for that, but let's see. That's a lot of weight to carry, but Science Junior is it's a science bay that you open up and look at. Instead of looking at goo, you're looking at a lot of little samples of stuff, and it's worth a lot of science points. But it's a heavy device. Let's see, well, there's this. Oh, we got a Sputnik probe. Right, so we can start sending up satellites, right, which is not a bad idea. Considering that we want to go to the moon, we might want to think about getting a satellite that goes to the moon and puts this in orbit, so it starts mapping out the terrain and where the biomes are at. Yeah. There's that to think about. We have a barometer and a Science Junior now. Boom. We want to bring that back with us. but that has added a bunch of weight that the parachute's going to have a little difficult. It's a heavy landing with this contraption. Did we get better parachutes? We did not yet. We do have the manual just in case. Oh wait, yeah. Here's what we'll do is add a couple right there and there. Hang on. Some redesign. Those are huge. You can use the smaller ones. Should be one on each side, but there's not. Hit the symmetry button. Did I get it? That's in the way. Yeah, I got it. That up here. Yeah. And I wonder, what did we get? I thought we got... Put some stuff in there. Yeah. Zoom in on that. Rotate that. Sure. Nah. Want them to be over on the side so it's easy for me to reach in there in a pinch. Wrong button. There. Good. Put a barometer. Let's flip it over right. And sure, why not bring two? Symmetric. Good enough. What else? Thermometers. Temperature. Heck yeah. There's science all up in there. It's a science bay all its own. And then there's this one here. Let's open it up. See? Oh, come on. Zoom in. Bro. Oh, I'm in as close as we get. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of science samples and stuff. Doing science, and Hal is in there. Making sure nobody gets out of step. So yeah, take that and get some science for that. Taking that to outer space and seeing what it does. What's this? Yeah, more stuff for our satellite. I think we can put both those contraptions on it. You have to be careful. Sometimes they work at different altitudes. High precision radar altimeter. What allows you to collect? Here, hang on. Be able to read this. Collection of basic elevation data in a very narrow swatch below the satellite. Yeah, uses a moderate amount of power and functions in lit and unlit situations. Good. Something like this. This one only operates in the daylight. Yep. Let's see what it's... Usually they say they are used to be. Maybe, hang on, is this it? Yeah, altitude. It has to be above 20,000 kilometers and below 70,000. Oh, the best is 70,000. Nice circular orbit at 70,000. Minimum has to be 20 and maximum is 50. Now the other satellite can be much lower, but otherwise has a very similar maximum altitude and best altitude. So these would work well on the same satellite to go send them to the moon and put them in a polar orbit while the moon rotates underneath them, and they'll end up scanning the entire thing for us. so that we're going to go over to our tracking station. There's another tab over there that you click on that shows you all that data, right? So you can figure out where you want to land before you go. I don't know if I'll go through all that. Excuse me. I think we're done with that for now. We're going to build a new rocket here. Not even bothering to name it or anything like that. Just going to be like a one-use rocket, never used again kind of thing. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, got all that in there. It's good to go. What's this? Oh, just another storage unit. We can put science in. We got that taken care of. This. Alright, fuel tanks. So we have our liquid fuel now. We'll use the big ones. Huh. What do I got there? 5 of them? You know what? I shouldn't... Yeah. Like, you know, we don't want to leave the atmosphere with... You know, that's a... Gosh. I don't know if this is going to work. Do we have any landing gear? You know what? Just for now, I don't want to take that much with us. Seems very unstable. If we want to try and get out of the atmosphere and come back in, better chance. We can take all this science for now in a nice tight bay out there, get into a low Earth orbit, Kerbal orbit, and bring it all back safely. I think we can do this. Not entirely sure. Let's see, what do we got here? Delta V, show all. Nothing yet, because you don't have a motor on there. This one swivels. Does this swivel? I don't think this one swivels, but it's got more kick to it. I don't think we have a reaction wheel yet. How am I going to steer it? Not. But we are going to want to keep it straight as we can. You know, I wonder though, how about something like, do I have a communications thing? Yeah. What if I just put one on one side, the ocean side? Just one of them, and I'll orient it back the other way. Something like that, just to get a little bit of drag on that side, so it'll naturally pull it out over the ocean a little bit. So maybe we can get some data out over the ocean, and hopefully land on the softer water. But with those 3 parachutes, that should be enough. What kind of Delta V do we have? Nothing, because I haven't put a motor on there yet. Wait, no, this one was the more powerful one. Just doesn't have steering ability. I don't think. Yeah. Oh, with different colors? What? Ah, wow. Huh. That's cool. Now then. Oh, do we have couplers? We do. I thought we did. Put some boosters on it. For some giddy up. One on each side. Where'd they go? That's the hammers. Oh, what do we have here? A thumper? Ah, that's crazy talk. Oh, that's crazy talk. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? That is not... No. Okay. Nope. Just wanted the single symmetry with that. Come on, man. There. Now, go and pitch around, and hopefully it'll pull us forward. That's way too much for this. We can adjust the thrust. Nowadays. Right? Did both of them the same? Yeah. Half the thrust. That's a lot of giddy up. I actually might go to orbit if it doesn't just shatter. I wasn't expecting it to, but it might. Am I looking for... It was this. It's gonna end in disaster. Probably they're gonna pinch when it takes off and blow everything up. Do I have any way to stand that up on the launch pad? It's just gonna sit out there on its engines. I don't think that's gonna work. It'll stand on those better, I think. We'll find out. Let's see how fast and high it goes. That's really it. We want to go higher and faster so we get new data. So we can get bigger and faster things to get into orbit. Might be able to do that if we spend a little time with it. It's enough. Let's do this. Put it in orbit. Do some things. But now, Valentina win already. No stars. Interesting. Flight log 1. How many points, I wonder, you gotta get before you level up? I guess each star is a level. Oh, we'll find out. What am I missing? Okay, check your staging. I want all the rockets to fire at once. Those will fire after that. Oh, we need a coupler. Get rid of all the fuel after we're done with it. See if I put it on there right. Let's hope. Where's that? Get rid of those as soon as those burn out. Get rid of all that when that burns out. Oh, how do we get home? If that puts us in orbit, let's not go to orbit. Let's make sure we don't go to orbit because we don't have a way home. Probably shouldn't be using these, but since we have them, I want to. Right? No other reason. That's it. Just because, yep, they're big. Let's see. This could be a disaster. Let's go. It's alright. Jeb will respawn in 2 hours if he doesn't make it. We brought some science, right? Yeah, we did. Yes, we did. So, I believe we already have a crew report, but can I? Temperature, you can do that all day, right? What is that? So yeah, temperature readings are quite literally normal. What is the display? Tell us. Yeah, 309.65 Kelvin. Good. All right. We'll keep that. Can we transmit it? We can transmit it, but only 70% of it. We want the whole thing. The risk we're taking. Jeb may not come back. Or if we hit the ground and the bottom piece blows up because the parachutes didn't slow it down enough, we collect and record the atmospheric pressure data from the surroundings. Sometimes it is data. All right, so we'll keep that info. I think we can take those temperatures as often as possible. It's not like have to be reset. The mystery goo, once you open the container, that's it. Unless you have a scientist to reset the experiment, it's a one shot. Whereas temperature and barometer, as long as you're in a different location, you look at it, it's worth some science. So we did that. Let's go. I could throttle up, right? Z and X, full throttle off, or the shift button for sweep the throttle. You can see that over here on the, that's the control button. Throttle down, throttle up. So I'll be able to control the amount of throttle on the center one, but the 2 outer ones are fixed at 50%, which I should have looked to see what my, or will it show it to us? What our thrust to weight ratio is. And yeah, we're in good shape. Maybe. Barely. It's at 1.07. That's an uncomfortable place. We're going to go up very slowly. I hear you, Jeb. I agree. It's going to be sketchy. Usually you want that to be about 1.4. This is 2.4. Once we get rid of the boosters, we're kicking. But we're going to need full throttle from the liquid, which means it may run out of fuel before the boosters. So we could throttle down once we start going. Let's see how it works. We may not get off the pad. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, launch. Can hide all that. It's going slow. I forgot to throttle up. No, I didn't. But why isn't it going? It's on a different stage. It's not going to end well. So that was good practice. Start that again. This time I'll check my staging a little more thoroughly. Yeah. like this, right? I just need to make a quick adjustment. Let me move that out of the way. Pardon me. Move this down there so they all kick off at the same time. You ready? I'm ready. 3, 2, 1, go. I did it again. This time I'm on it. We're moving. I need some SAS if we had some, but we don't have any. Oh yeah, a little bit in the capsule. No RCS though. I wanted to rotate. Yeah, you did. It's not working, but maybe can I? Oh, I can pitch. Little bit. Oh, we've already started going backwards, so we're not going anywhere. No, I can't pitch it actually. I think we tilted a little bit that way though. So, no, we're right above the station. Oh, which, right? I didn't have disastrous stuff turned off, so I can kill the throttle there. We got plenty. I think we're going to burn up here. How much fuel we got? I can't see that. Yeah, it doesn't look good for us. This is probably a bad mistake. This was probably really... Oh, it does move a little bit. Water. Get rid of those. But as I said, we do not want to go in. Oh, we're in bad shape here. Okay, hang on. Yeah. Probably isn't going to end well. Uh-oh. What did I do? Oh, did it just... I think it just crashed and shut down. Ha! Super. Let's try that again. Well, you know, that was a good one. It only dropped a few frames though, maybe 100 or so since the last time I looked. It may have dropped them all like right then. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm out at like an hour and a half anyway. That was a good place to stop. It was like, yeah, you're done. Why don't you stop for the night? All right. Good place to take a break. I'll go take a break, get it running again, and we'll relaunch that mission. Good. All right. See you. I'm stopping the stream. Bye now. Yeah, bye.